Hello, everybody. I want to talk about, once again, to try to drive the point home a little more, why more teaching was needed than just the Bible. And there's three preachers that tend to come across my YouTube page a lot. It's a Voddie, Baucham. I apologize if I pronounce his name wrong. He believes in the Trinity. There's a Pastor Dowell. I think he's more of the Hebrew Israelite, a sect of that off-take of the Bible, and he doesn't believe in the Trinity. And then there's a Gino. He's a oneness Pentecostal. They don't really believe in the Trinity, but they believe Jesus is God, and I guess he came in different forms, and, then you have the apostolic church. I thought he was an apostolic, but, I guess I guess maybe it's an off-take of because the apostolic church seems to believe in something similar, but anyway, the point of it is, and all these men, they seem to have a righteous message from what I listen to, and they don't preach that prosperity garbage and that nonsense TD Jakes and the rest of them hustling clowns preach. But nevertheless, when you come to the Trinity, and all three of them say this, we have the truth about the Bible, and they go to the verses that make them right and that make their religion right. Okay, and the problem is all three of them are going to say, we have the truth about the Bible, but they're going to tell you something different. They're going to tell you every one of them is going to tell you something different, and they're going to say, we have the truth, we have the way, we're the ones who are right with God. And this is this is the problem. And people say, well, how come the Koran came about? Why do you teach one truth unto God? Well, this is why. Because, as a religion constantly divides and divides and divides, and there's more man-made interpretations, at some point, religion becomes nothing but man-made philosophy. It might inject God a little bit, but it's basically man-made philosophy, and people are divided. It's like the world. Almost everybody, everybody got a different opinion in the world. And Jesus came with a new covenant because God basically saw Judaism as basically corrupt and useless to him, so he wanted a new covenant for the Jews and the Gentiles because he wanted to bring the Gentiles in. Hinduism was in another part of the world. Hinduism, from what I understand, is the oldest religion in the world. But it's still around. That's still around anyway. Then as Christians began, fighting, because the deity of Jesus, the fighting over the deity of Jesus and this stuff, it led to bloodshed. It led to not just simple sin and confusion. It led to war and bloodshed. In our country, you can in America, you can practice any religion you want. So religion doesn't really lead to a lot of fighting and war and serious bloodshed. You had the Catholics and the Protestants, within the last, 20 years, they were fighting in Ireland. But in America, you kind of practice any religion you want. But God has to bring further teachings because the people can lock these three men in a room, okay, and they will, and say, you guys can't come out until you all agree on one of these theologies. And truthfully, unless two of them got tired of being in there and just said, okay, we'll agree on this one, if they each wanted to hold their own and stick to their verses, they would never come out because the Bible isn't clear. Okay, and that's why God ordered the Koran into the world. It's not that Muhammad was evil. You have to understand this. The Jews tried to paint Jesus as evil because they're in their pride. They wanted to hold on to their beliefs and their religion. People that want to hold on to Christianity and Judaism will always paint Muhammad as evil. Okay? Because if they don't and they say the Quran is valid, they done lost their religion. So they will come up with any ridiculous reason to say the Quran is evil. Okay? Jews, Christians, Muslims, and Hindus probably will say I'm evil. Now I'm teaching one righteous, one humanitarian truth under God. Everybody get along under God, believe in Jesus, under one truth, live in peace, live in righteousness, the whole nine. But they'll say I'm evil. Because if they don't say I'm evil, now they can't hold on to their particular beliefs anymore that they may take pride in or that makes them feel good. So, look, I'm not the most popular guy. I know that. But I'm doing God's will. And as long as God's happy, that's what matters. I know the world, Jesus even said before the world hated you, they hated me. Well, I'm chances are, I'm hated. I'm very hated too. Most religious people, when they get done talking to me, they don't really care for me too much. But so be it. But this is the reason further teachings have to come. Because, and there's different interpretations in Islam. A lot of Muslims, I have Muslims tell me, well, Jesus is just a prophet. And I look at in the Quran, he says he's your Messiah. He's the anointed prophet of God in the Quran. But they'll say he's just a prophet. Well, no, he's not just a prophet. Your own holy book says he's not just a prophet. But this is why God has to bring further teachings. Because, especially the Bible, because, there are so many different interpretations, so many different sects that, who knows what's right? There's no way to tell what's right. Every religious leader in their religion is going to say, well, we're the way to go. We're the way. Well, we're the way. If you don't believe in us, you ain't going to make it. Of course, everyone, because if they tell you the opposite, they're done. So they will hold on to fighting for their particular beliefs no matter what. Because without that, their prestige or people listening is pretty much gone. To put it simple, and this is why I wear this cross. I have the, I don't have the Hindu sign on it but I have the, Jewish sign, Christian sign, and Muslim sign. Because those religions were built on top of one another. For that reason. Now, Hinduism, remember, years ago, it wasn't a global world. Like, it wasn't like information flowed like it did today. Today, you could send a message around the world in a millisecond. Years ago, it wasn't like that. But, so Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, were built on top of another because as man and his sinful nature with his earthly interpretations basically destroys religion and makes it nothing but man-made philosophy, God has to bring further teaching. It's really that simple. It's really no, because religion is not supposed to be complicated. Okay? Religion is not supposed, you live righteous. The book of Amos, I don't have, I forget, but one of the most profound prophecies God ever spoke through a prophet. He spoke it through the prophet Amos. And it was one of the most profound sayings he said. He said, save your festivals and religious pretenses. I want a flood of righteous living. Because without righteous living, without people living righteous, all the rest of that stuff is not even important. Righteous living comes first for God. And with all these people fighting over whose religion is right and confusing people over whose religion is right, where it basically becomes, for most people, take a crapshoot. And trust me, prior to the Lord coming over me to do this, I wasn't religious at all. I mean, I had read the Bible, I might have watched a few preachers on TV here and there, but I was a man of the world. Because religion basically made no sense to me. I mean, like I said, there were so many of them out there, and it was just like, I felt, a lot of Christianity they taught a version of Jesus where it was like a stripping of your manhood. Like, how can you feel like a man acting like that? Because, Christianity mainstream Christianity teaches like what I consider this watered down version of Jesus. And to me, it's the dull mind of the masses, truthfully. But that being said, then the Lord came over me to teach me and taught me this. And he taught me why he wanted one truth under God, because he doesn't like religious war, because it's sin. He doesn't like religious confusion, because it's sin. Okay, he doesn't like fighting over religion, because it's sin. It's all sinful. So it takes the world away from righteousness, because many people will stay in the world because they see all these different religions and everybody's telling them something different. So they just say religion is a bunch of nonsense. I don't need it. They'd rather stay in the world and do whatever craziness they like doing. And that's how the Antichrist will come. The Antichrist won't come to a bunch of godly people. If everybody in the world was godly, the Antichrist couldn't take hold. Hell, they'd knock that joker out like it was nothing. Like, no, we ain't putting up with you. Bunch of sinful, wicked, money, sin-loving, ignorant people. That's how the Antichrist will come. The one world Antichrist. So with that, I'll say God bless and have a good day. But that's why I teach one truth under God.